that is how you take out the F-15 Eagle, one of the highest threat aircraft in DCS world and in the real world battlefield. Plasma 1945, and I'm taking off on the Growling Sidewinder PvP server, so you know that my enemies are actual PvP pilots, not AI. So as I take off, I'm going to show the radar MFD for the flanker on the right hand side, and we are looking at targets. As you can see, we can see the F-15 over to the right and start turning in towards him. At 20 scale, the edge of the radar is about 100 kilometers, and at 50 scale, it's almost 250. So we know the Eagle is coming in. He is high, he is fast, and we can tell that by his wings on his symbol and the length of his nose, which basically says that he is moving in at almost Mach 2 towards me. Now I'm flying with Nomad here, so Nomad can give me additional information as to the type of enemy aircraft. And if we look at the MFD, the Eagle has now entered the 100 kilometer range. I can switch my radar into high PRF mode, PPS, on the flanker, which will give me the ability to lock him earlier as long as he is in a hot aspect towards me. Let's walk through the engagement process. In this fight, microscopic decisions make a difference, and there's a target. I don't have a lock yet, even though I'm in high PRF, but I am starting to pitch up so that as soon as I have a lock, I can fire a missile. By pitching up, you're giving the missile extra speed. I have a lock. You can see that he's heading towards me based on the arrow pointing at me, and his speed of 1950 kilometers an hour. Fox 3 at almost maximum range of the missile, and right away a rollout to the right once the missile is away. So let's take a look at that. Down and away. Now the Eagle has also fired back at me. He's still very fast. He's almost Mach 2 as he lets off 2 and then a third missile. At this speed, the Eagle is very deadly. He has lots of kinetic energy and he's transferring it directly into his missiles, which once take off, head towards me at almost Mach 4. I perform a descent and crank to the right. Cranking basically means you change the direction of your flight. The reason is, the more the missile has to pull towards you, the enemy missile, the higher the chance it'll lose its speed. Now, as you're watching this video, if you're wondering how Plasma does his practices and where he figures out the strategies, well, I do it on a Fox 3 managed solution server. So if you have a squadron or a group of friends and you want a server where you can fly your missions and practice, Fox 3 Managed Solutions, make sure you visit him. Alright, so let's talk about what happened here. The enemy Eagle, I'm going to draw him in blue, was coming out of the north, and he fired his Fox 3 missiles. Now, his move after this will be to do another loop, and this is actually what we're seeing here. The reason he has to do the loop is because he needs to maintain his energy and speed while he comes back in again. If he just keeps flying straight, he's going to get smacked. If he makes a hard right turn, he's going to lose all of his speed because the body of his airplane is going to act like a speed brake. So he needs to make a gentle circle and come back in very fast and shoot again. That's his Fox 3 that I'm drawing on the screen. But what you want to do is you want to shoot at him, but not when he's pointing at you. That's a bad spot. It's too late. To get the Eagle, you have to shoot him as he's making the turn, because at this point you're giving more time for your missile to get to him. That entire time that he's still turning into you, he is still building speed towards your missile, which means as your missile heads for him, and if he turns left or right, well, the missile is going to be much closer. But if you fire later at the bad X on the screen, well, your missile is going to be chasing him instead of closing the distance. So while the F-15 is turning away, I'm going to release an ET on a jamming target here, or maybe that was an ER, and there's the Eagle again. He is at 74 kilometers and he's turning in hot. I've got a lock. As you can see, I'm still way out of parameters. I'm going to switch now to my SD-10, PL-12, and launch the missile. The Eagle is still turning towards me, still building speed, still on his way to take a shot at me, but I've already sent a missile in the direction of the enemy. You also need to be high and fast enough, and the next thing I'm doing is I'm cranking out to the right again. He's on the very edge of my radar, and the missile is still guiding. At this point, the missile is closing, and it will go pitbull at about 18 kilometers. The Eagle fires his AIM-120s, but my SD-10 is now 10 kilometers away. The Eagle starts to panic. Watch his speed on Tacview, 1.5 Mach. 1.4. He is cranking. He's dropping chaff. He's freaking out because the missile is very close. He's down to 1.3. And here, as he continues to maneuver, he lost all of his speed because he is panicking too much. And he never descended down to the ground into thicker air. This allows for the missile to catch up to him. That was a 75-kilometer shot, and the missile had time to close in towards him, and now pulls up right next to him at Mach 1.5 and explodes. Let's take a look at it from a different angle, and if an Eagle pilot is watching this, well, the advice that you don't want to hear is that this guy should have descended and should not have lost all the speed. But here the SD-10 is very close. It closes on the Eagle, gets under him, and detonates, knocking out Starvenger. Sorry, buddy. Need to Eagle better, and I will continue doing my flanker stuff. So let's take a look at it on the Tacview. Oh yeah, by the way, if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, make sure you leave a like and subscribe and share this video. So here comes Starvenger. And that's his first pass. He fires 2 M120s, then sends a third one in my direction. Starts turning away, and I've already sent my SD-10 on him, but there's not much of a chance for it to catch him. The missile does force him to go cold, which would give me time to defend his missile and to turn back in and press him. Starvenger is now Mach 1.7 after that turn, at an altitude of almost 13 kilometers. That's around 40,000 feet. He's pulling away, and the Eagle needs time to pull away to come back in. You can defend his missile quickly enough, you can continue closing the distance. So by the time he turns around and points his radar at you, well, you're much closer. Now we're at 78 kilometers. There's his turn in. He's up to Mach 1.8. And at this point, I fire my PL-12, aka SD-10. As you can see, he is still turning, but my missile is now 20 miles away and closing. The missile will go active at 18 kilometers, 10 miles. The Eagle has just turned in, just fired his missiles, and my SD-10 is already under 20 kilometers. Then comes the panic. As he panics, he turns his aircraft into a giant air brake, losing all of his speed. Mach 1.3, Mach 1.2, and down to Mach 1.1 when the SD-10 catches up to him and smacks him. There you have it, guys. A few seconds later, Starvenger will break up into pieces, and that's how you deal with the Eagles in DCS world. As always, Plasma 1945 here, and I'll see you in the air.